everyone and welcome to this video. Now today I'm going to be taking a look at the brand new album by Lynne's ELO, so it's From Out of Nowhere here. So I'll just be doing the usual thing in this video, giving a bit of background information about the album, then showing you my vinyl copy of it here, and then looking at each of the album songs in detail. Okay, so overall this is the 14th album in the ELO discography, released on the 1st of November in 2019. So it's been 4 years since Lynne's last album, which was Alone in the Universe, which was quite a big sort of comeback album for him. It was it'd been 12 years since his last album of new material Zoom in 2001. So that album was quite well anticipated. Whether this one here only coming 4 years after Alone in the Universe maybe didn't have the same sort of level of excitement as the last album did, because since then he's done a few world tours. He's played at the Glastonbury Festival, he's played at Wembley, and generally is getting a lot more respect these days and a lot more attention. This record though follows pretty much the same formula off Alone in the Universe and Zoom and Armchair Theatre, pretty much all his albums, because he recorded all the instruments by himself on here. I believe he recorded it at his home studio, out the Bungalow Palace, with some assistance from his engineer, a guy called Steve J, who I believe played some shakers on the album, as well as and then the only other musician is Richard Tandy, who plays a bit of piano on the song One More Time. So this album has got mostly a positive reception from critics. It usually gets about 3 or 4 stars this album here. Currently is sitting at number 2 on the UK midweek album chart update. So hopefully it retains that position for the final charts, which are announced tomorrow, although they'll probably be announced by the time I upload this video. So anyway, I want to show you my vinyl copy of it here. So I opted to get the deluxe vinyl here, which isn't too different from the standard one. The only main difference is this sort of really cool lenticular cover, which I really like. Personally, the cover I gave, it was just plain. It's a little bit sort of generic ELO, just the spaceship, but this sort of lenticular nature really adds something to it, I think. So yeah, that's really nice. There's the back of it there, just a lovely picture of Jeff there. And the inside gatefold looks like this, which I believe is only on this deluxe version. It then comes with a inner sleeve here. Would have been nice if it had a wee booklet. There is a wee there is another gap in there. There's another slot there. So a little book would have been nice because I believe the CD actually came with a lyric book with pictures in it and whatnot. Really nice packaging there. Fortunately, they didn't do that for the vinyl, and we just get this sort of Lynne's ELO sort of design there, and then the lyrics to the songs on the back. And this deluxe one is on a sort of gold vinyl here. So yeah, that is the vinyl record looked at. So anyway, I will now go over each of the album songs. So there's only 10 tracks on here, it's quite a short album. So yeah, this review shouldn't take too long, but I will look at each song in detail and score each track out of 10, and then those scores will be used to give us a overall percentage marking for the album. So it kicks off with the song From Out of Nowhere, the title track, and which was the lead-off single. And I must say, when it first came out a couple of months ago, it really didn't blow me away too much. I thought it was a good song. It's got all the usual Lynne trademarks on it, from his sort of signature drum sound, to a very sort of pleasing chord structure. Must say, I do quite like the lyrics on this one, kind of just about sort of escapism, sort of being taken away to a better place, sort of thing. So yeah, I do quite like it, and I think it could have this song done with a sort of a middle eight, or a bridge in it though, because kind of after the first two verses, he kind of then just repeats the chorus, which I think he really needed to sort of write something else, so keep the track interesting, let's say, make it have a bit more staying power. But overall though, I would give that one an 8 out of 10 because it is a pretty good song there. You got to help yourself. Next next up is one of my favourites on the album, and it's called Help Yourself, which I would give a 9 out of 10 to. I quite like the lyrics on this one. Again, they're about sort of being like sort of like unique and like proud of like yourself, like not sort of like changing like yourself like for like other people. It is one of like the only songs like on this album, like I would say, like with any like lyrical substance to it. Musically though, it is a bit Jeff Lynne by numbers like kind of thing. Like again, it's got like sort of like a trademark melody, like sort of like the trademark so like drum sounds, like and like guitar, like sort of like bits like to it as well. Like it's kind of what you would expect from Jeff Lynne, but it is a good song though. Like I do also really like the melody like off it as well, like when he sings like you can never change, you just keep on being you, like the harmony vocals on that bit are just like on point. So yeah, Help Yourself, I would overall give a 9 out of 10 to. Yeah, it's one of my favourites.
All my love.
And then the next one up is called All My Love, which is a slightly slower track. That's me. Like must say like when I first heard this, I did rather like it, but it is just very repetitive. This song, it's very basic as well. Like so, like lyrically, like it's just very generic. Like sort of like lyrics, like he sort of sings like it's just too like repetitive for me. It's kind of like it's got a nice sort of chilled out like musical like vibe to it. However, the song just doesn't really develop like as much like as like I would maybe have like hoped it would. And like yeah, like it's not a track which I would ever play like outside like off the album. So I would give that one a 6 out of 10 because overall it is an alright song. And then the next track up is called Down Came the Rain, which is a more sort of like upbeat like and like rocking song. This is one we definitely need like coming after like the very slow All My Love. It's kind of like starts off like with like a sort of like a jangly like sort of like Rickenbacker style like riff like on it, like very sort of like Tom Petty-esque like sound like to like this song here. And like lyrically like again it's pretty good, kind of like about like being like betrayed like lines on it such as like you let me down that slippery slope, you left me there without a hope. I quite like the chorus as well, like where like it takes like sort of like a minor turn like as well as sort of like goes to like the minor chords, like which I think like sort of like sets it up like nicely like against like the more sort of like upbeat verse. Again, I would say with this song it could do with a middle eighth like to keep the song like interesting like make it have like more staying power. But really, like aside from that, like I think it is another pretty good song there. So yeah, Down Came the Rain will get an 8 out of 10.
But I'm losing you.
Okay, and then the next one up is called Losing You, which is a sort of like a slower ballad, this one, like on the album. It is another good song, not great for me though. I'd say the positives about it, it's got a really good like string arrangement on it, like of course though, all played like on keyboards like by Jeff, like so like again it just shows like how talented he is like at like arranging stuff, but like doing it all like by himself, like again like he's like a real like sort of like studio wizard. Again lyrically like it is a bit weak, this song here. Like he just sort of like is quite generic, like he sort of sings like, oh I can't believe it's true that I'm losing you. It's really like about like as like deep like as it gets, but like again like it's got like good like instrumentation on it, like as I said, like from like the string arrangement like on like the track like to like sort of like a really good like bridge like slash like guitar solo, which certainly keeps like the track like up for me. So yeah, like I would say that song will get a 7 out of 10 for Losing You. The side 2 opener is called One More Time, which is a kind of throwaway like sort of like rock and roll track. Like I would say lyrically this one is perhaps like inspired like by like his return like to touring. Like he sort of sings like I'm gonna play those songs again, it's the best thing since I don't know when. I can really imagine like say Ringo Starr like singing this song because the lyrics they are quite sort of like corny, like I would say, and like definitely like when like compared like to like say like a similar rocker like from like the last album such as Ain't It a Drag, for me like there's no comparison like between the two. What rescues this song though is Richard Tandy's piano playing like on it. Like he like does like sort of like a really good like piano solo like on like the track, and then like after that like we get some really old school like ELO synths and strings. I just think it really works well, this song, like when Jeff like kind of like isn't singing like on it, kind of just because like the lyrics are so sort of like throwaway, like so dumb, like you don't really need them, but like at the core it is a good sort of like rocking song, like again like a good arrangement, like good performance. So that one like I would give a 6 out of 10 to. Don't want to be too harsh on it, but I think that is probably at what it deserves.
How come you don't leave me now?
The next song up on the album is called Sci-Fi Woman, and yeah, for some reason I really like this song. I think it's just a good mix like of like the production like on like the track. Like I really like the sort of like the sort of fuzzy keyboard part like what plays like behind like sort of like the first verse. Like I don't know like sort of like the proper term like for it, but I just think it sounds really good. And again, the melody is like just really catchy. Like I think like I really like the part where he sings like I sit and I wonder how come you don't need me now. Like again he's puts in a great vocal performance like on this song. Like I say, it's probably his best vocal performance like on the album, I would say. Plus it's also one of the only songs that features a middle eighth, which I think just really makes the song. Like of course like most people probably like wouldn't care about that, but for me like where like I sort of like it kind of changes like chord structure, like changes melody like quite a bit, it just keeps the song that bit more interesting for me. And yeah, like although the track really wouldn't win like any awards like in terms like of like its like lyrical content, I just think it's a fun upbeat pop song like which ELO were always best at. So yeah, Sci-Fi Woman I would give an 8 out of 10 to.
No, you've been going out on me when I've been.
The next one up is called Going Out on Me, which is a kind of sort of 50s blues like pache like sort of like track with kind of like lyrics like to match like that sort of like vibe. Like he sort of sings like you took your love away from me, but like the sort of like the rhythm like off like the song, like the tempo like off it really reminds me like of a song from Paul McCartney's last album, a track called Naked. Like kind of like just has like the same like sort of like vibe to it. Like whether like I would say like the McCartney song like has much better lyrics than this one here, which again are just a bit generic, a little bit like ordinary. Like he's not really saying much like on like this song like of like any substance. Positives though, it's got a kind of solid guitar solo like on like the track. Like, plus I'd say this track has a lot more kind of prominent strings like that were present like on many tracks on like either Alone in the Universe like or like especially Zoom, like sort of Jeff like kind of like returning to probably one of like the founding principles like of like ELO. So yeah, like overall I like this song, I just don't love it, so I would give it a 6 out of 10. And then the next one up is called Time of Our Life, which I actually really like this song. This was the second single from the album, and I must say lyrically it is Jeff sort of like reflecting like on like his triumphant like Wembley Stadium concert like of 2017. You really get the sense like on this song that he's very proud like of like this like achievement, that is something like which like he probably like never like anticipated like to like happen. And like yeah, like I think it is genuinely heartfelt like this one here. Like he's generally like sort of like overawed like at like that experience. Lyrically it kind of verges like into sort of like kind of like self like referential territory, like something like which say people like Mike Love like off like the Beach Boy does like Ringo like does. But I think this is like the first time like Jeff's done it. I will certainly like let him off like for it. Like I mean like if like he overdoes it like it can get a bit corny, but I do think it does work like on this song. Plus musically it's probably the most like 70s ELO, this sort of a very sort of like discovery like sort of like sound like to like this song, like I feel with its very sort of like crisp harmonies and like also like kind of like the funky chorus like the Oh What a Time like part like off it. Like it just works so well, this song. So yeah, I will give that more like a 9 out of 10. Like that's a song which I like genuinely do really like.
My songbird came home back to.
Okay, and then the final track on the album is called Songbird, which is probably my least favourite on the album. This song just doesn't really grab me like too much. It's quite a mellow song, quite a slow track. And like yeah, like I just think the lyrics are a little bit dull like on it. Like again, the melody is like a bit boring, like it's hard to sort of like remember like this song. Like feel it's got a fairly good guitar solo like on the song, but yeah, I just feel like it is a rather disappointing end to the album. Okay, so overall this album would score 71%, so I would say this album is largely what I probably expected like it would be. Quite pleasing songs like for the most part, but certainly very far from ELO's 70s heights. Overall though, I do prefer the last album, Alone in the Universe. I just think that was a bit more interesting musically, like a little bit more varied, a little bit better lyrically like as well, and like definitely like I think like it's probably like his weakest album like of his weakest album like of like original material like since like Balance of Power like or Secret Messages. I think as well it's quite a short record, this one. Like it only clocks in like at about 32 minutes, and it's also like disappointing like there wasn't like any bonus tracks like on here like there was like on Alone in the Universe, like, so like the deluxe version. Like, so like in terms of quality, like I would have maybe hoped like for like a little bit more like lyrical substance, like if like he only came up like without these 10 songs like in like 4 years. But yeah, musically, like it is like sort of really like in line like with like what like Jeff is like best known for, and like also like kind of like best at, like he sort of like he does everything like on this album. And yeah, you can't really like deny like the man's talents like as like a musician and like producer. Just in terms like of songwriting, like he's maybe not quite reaching like the heights like off like some like off like his like previous work, but yeah, still pleased like he is still coming out like with like new music here. So yeah, that's been my review of Jeff Lynne's ELO From Out of Nowhere. So yes, I hope you have enjoyed, and I will see you all next time for the next video. Goodbye.
And